Welcome back to the Coyote Country Homestead. The tractor's down for repairs right now. I called the dealership about the hydraulic fluid leak, and the dealership came out the same day that I called them, and we thought we had the problem fixed. We did find a loose fitting, a loose connection on the one of the hydraulic hoses, which they tightened up with a crow's foot wrench, which I did not have. And now remember, I had disconnected the three-point hitch, the box blade from the three-point hitch, in order to diagnose the problem, right? And when the mechanic from the dealership was out here looking at the box blade wasn't on. So we did some testing after he did the tightening up of the one fitting, and everything seemed to be okay. And it wasn't until the next day when I went to go reconnect the box blade to the three-point hitch and then started moving it around. I was getting ready to change out the bucket for the pallet forks for some other work that I'd planned to do that day. And it started leaking again. I mean, just almost immediately. So what that tells me is that the problem really only reveals itself when it's under pressure from something heavy like the box blade being on the three-point hitch. So I called the dealership back, and they're coming out Monday to repair that and figure out what's going on. In the meantime, the tractor's down, right? So this seems like a good time to do some other maintenance that I had been planning to do. I need to get the wheels torqued, and I want to get some, you can use a marker, a Sharpie marker, but I actually bought some special paint that I can use to mark the nuts so that I know that they're in torque and that they've been checked, and I'll go ahead and put that on. This is also a good time. I have a grill guard for the front that I wanted to get installed on there, so I'm going to get that done today. The other thing that hasn't been done yet since I've owned it, I have about 9 hours on the tractor. It had 2.5 when it was delivered to me. I haven't greased everything yet. This will be a good opportunity to get all that done. I'm going to get all my tools together and get over to where the tractor is sitting and get all of that work done. So let's go get started. Let's start with getting the tires torqued, the lug nuts for the tires torqued. I've got this Visitorque product here. I'll get you a close-up of this a little bit later. And then, of course, I've got the torque wrench set. I looked in the manual, the owner's manual. The recommended torque is between 130 and 145 foot-pounds. So I've set this to 140, and we'll use that. And then we'll just mark a line across it. A flaw in my plan. Interesting. Well, we can do these. I'll give you a close-up here in just a minute, but I can only mark 2 of the 6 nuts because the bolts don't come through from the opposite side. So here's a close-up of what I'm talking about. You can see that the there's only 2 of the bolts that come through from the back. The other four bolts go through to the front. I don't know if I can mark those on the back or not, but I'm not sure I want to get around to the back and check. So I probably will just have to make it a habit every 50 hours or so to just check the torque on these. Having these other 2 done is at least going to give me an indicator. The front wheels are the same situation. I'll be able to mark 2 of the 6 bolts. And I did actually find one that was loose. Up until now, I was just getting ready to say none of these have been loose, but this one was actually out of torque, and I had to give it a good, I don't know, 16th, 8th of a turn. This side's done. Let's move to the other side. And I'm doing this in a crosshatch pattern. I don't really know that it matters or not. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the fronts, and then I'll just mark the whole side at the same time. There's some give on almost all of the ones on the front. Now keep in mind, they had just replaced the front axle. And if they spec'd, or if they torqued it at 130 and I torqued it at 140, I can understand that there might be a little bit of a difference. It didn't feel like there was a lot, but it did give just a little bit. This is the product I'm using. It's called Visitorque. Visitorque, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And this is what it looks like when it's on. This is dry to the touch in 20 minutes. Takes 24 hours to cure. And then on the fronts, it just looks like that. So at least that'll give me an indicator. If those 2 move out of torque ahead of my regular schedule for checking them, then I know I need to do something. It's the next day. I've had a chance to sleep, and I don't know why I was being so dense yesterday. The only thing I can say is it's a lot of work to try and do something new that you've never done before, at the same time that you're making videos, which you're relatively new to, and maintain a dialogue with you, the viewer on the other side of the screen. And then you add the 4th thing on there of trying to solve a problem, and apparently I just failed at that. And so the idea of marking those other bolts, well, I don't need to mark the lug nut to the center bolt if I can mark the bolt head to the rim. It's such an obvious solution, and I know anybody that was watching this on the other side of the screen was saying, hey, why don't you just do that? So I woke up this morning thinking about that and realizing what a simple mistake I had made. So I came back out today, and the one bolt that I had missed, I got torqued. I think I had put that in a little text thing. And then I will show you here. Here you can see that I've marked the bolt heads to the rim, and that'll give me an indication if those have been moved out of torque. Again, super obvious and simple solution. I don't know why I didn't think of it. That's probably not the last time you're going to see me overlook an extremely obvious solution to a problem. if this does, if it, you know, if I get to the point where a video actually makes it out and I haven't come back and given information on what the obvious solution is, please always leave a comment. Keep your suggestions positive is all I ask, but let me know. It's like, hey, did you know that you should have done it this way? And the answer is, I probably did not. Probably didn't realize. So anyway, we'll go back to the video now. Before I start putting grease in these, I want to clean the fittings out, make sure I remove as much um, of the grease that might have gotten dirt trapped in it, because I don't want to push that into the Zerk. So I'm going to go ahead and clean those out, and then I'll come back and grease them. I've got 6 fittings here on the loader frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to focus on those on each side first, and then I know I've got a few other odds and ends that I need to catch. I may have overloaded those just a little bit. I wanted to make sure I saw grease coming out. I'd rather have them a little bit full and having the grease come out than not have it full. It took a fair amount of grease. I was surprised. So I can see why this is something that needs to be done about every 10 hours, 8 hours. Let's go around and get the other side. That was it for the loader frame. I've got one down here on the skid steer quick attach that is on each side. I need to get those now. Got one down here on the front axle. We already saw this one on the front axle. In addition to that, I've got one right back here behind, this is part of the brake. And then on the power steering assembly, we've got one here, and then there's one up underneath back up here. And then that's all of them. I know that wasn't a terribly exciting day's worth of work. Tractor maintenance is rarely an exciting thing, but it's something that has to happen if we're going to keep our equipment in good condition. It was important for me to, this is the first time I've done it, so it was important for me to get out there and find all of the fittings, make sure I know where they are, and get used to getting them greased, so that every 8 hours it's just a matter of routine maintenance that I locate them and go ahead and get that work done. It was also really important to me to get those lug nuts torqued out. As we saw, a couple of them were actually a little bit loose on the front. I think that was a difference between how I torqued it and how the dealership torqued it. But regardless, now I know myself that they're properly torqued, and I've got them marked so that I know that if they get out of torque, I'll be able to get that addressed. One other thing that I really wanted to get done today was I wanted to get a grill guard installed on the front of the tractor. I ordered one from the dealership and it doesn't fit. It's got these brackets that mount on the side, and the bolts that come to put those into the mounting bracket are too big for the holes I have on the front end of my tractor, and the 4-hole pattern doesn't line up quite right either. So it's not quite the right product. I need to get with the dealer on Monday and see what we need to do to get that returned, and then get the correct part ordered. The other thing is I'm waiting on the dealership to send out the mechanic on Monday to get the hydraulic fluid leak fixed. And then we can get back to work using the tractor to get the work done. I don't have any more work to do today. I'm glad that you joined me though. And if you would, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. That really helps me as I'm trying to grow my channel. I appreciate all of you that take the time to watch this. Again, I'm just trying to find my way as a new tractor owner, and I'm trying to learn all of the things that I can. I hope that in the process of me learning what I'm doing and sharing that if you're a new tractor owner, this helps you as well. If as a more seasoned tractor owner, if you have tips, tricks, comments, whatever, please share them. Please share them with me in the comments. I definitely read all of those and I would appreciate it. And we're going to wrap that up for today. Thanks for joining us out here at the Coyote Country Homestead. We'll talk to you again soon.